Hello, good afternoon. I am Ayodeji Duka, a pastor. Um, hmm, something I was just thinking about Nigeria a couple of days ago, and I was out thinking, what could probably be the reason why this country is the way it is? Because one, I've I came to a conclusion: the people who are our leaders did not come from Mars. They grew up amongst us. They went to school. Some were fortunate enough to travel, and some even had scholarships, all at the expense of this nation. But today, and I'm wondering, why do we have bad leaders? Was it that they were not taught well from home? But no, and I realized that from when I began to understand what government was, the days of Obasanjo as a military officer, Muritala as the head of state, people complained during Muritala. People complained about just 3 years, 1979. So 1983, Shagari's government was said to be the worst. And after Shagari, the military came. Buhari came, it didn't last up to 2 years, it was removed, but yet people were still complaining. After Buhari, Babangida was here for 8 years, yet people still complained. And I'm wondering why I observed that no good government has come from all these all this government, gradually the last one was better than the present one, then that one goes, the one that comes after is worse, and gradually, and I realized that come on, there's something fundamentally wrong with what is happening. I looked and I observed and I realized, because I was reading the books, the Old Testament, and I got to a point where God told Moses to tell the children of Israel that as you have spoken in my ear, so I will do to you. And then and what was it that the children of Israel did? They complained too. They complained. God promised them the promised land, but some of them started to say, we will never get there. How are we going to get there? We don't, even during their journey for 40 years in the wilderness, all they did was anger God. My own opinion, all they did was anger God. That is according to the Bible. I'm just concerning Nigeria, this is my own opinion. And I feel that it is fundamental. Because death and life are in the power of the tongue. And if we don't change what we are saying concerning Nigeria, we will sit down in our houses, place of businesses, every gathering, in church, some pastors on the pulpit, our fathers in the mosque, and then the best we can do is rain curses on our leaders. Fine. So I was talking to somebody said, no, the reason why people are reacting like that is because of what they're experiencing. I said, yes, that is legitimate. But sometimes we don't realize the implications of what we are saying. But I've observed that Jonathan came, we complained. Even before Jonathan, Obasanjo came, we complained. Yar'Adua, there was complaining, but some people still believe that he was better than Jonathan. But since he didn't live long enough to finish his government, his term, Jonathan continued, spent 6 years, and yet no changes. It's rather, it was getting worse and worse and worse. The only time that the naira grew against the dollar, at least significantly, was during the days of Obasanjo. At least it grew. It was a gradual process, but it was growing. And we sit in our homes, like I said earlier, and say, all these Olori Buruku people, all these idiots. Okay, you that you are not an idiot, why are you not in government office? Why? You that is Olori, that is not Olori Buruku, why is it that it is Olori Buruku that is managing the affairs of your own country, you that is Olori? See, to criticize is easier, and this is born out of the fact that it's born out of the personal experience. As I was a vice CDA chairman in my CDA, and then we had a project. What was the project? All these light problem, no new. Our transformer got spoiled, 500 kVA transformer that the community bought sometimes in 2019. I remember it was in 2019 that we bought it, and then in 2022 it got damaged due to the fault of those electricity, our disco, their men. So we decided to take this responsibility, and because I was part of the electrical committee, and I told them, I said, look, enough of buying transformer for these people. They are the ones making money from these infrastructures. Because when we buy, we still get our bills at the end of the month. So what's the essence? We are the one losing, investing in something that we'll never get any return from. So, and I decided, okay, fine. We will not buy transformer. The disco itself must replace our transformer for us. We went into it as God would have it. Eventually, after going through the process of about 6 or 7 months, we finally got this transformer, and then the disco came installed and did everything for us. But meanwhile, what did the report that the disco gave concerning the former transformer that got spoiled was that the transformer was overloaded, and I felt, okay, fine. We felt that, okay, fine. We used to have a small transformer in the community before, and it was the one that we removed to put the 500 kV that we bought in 2019. And then at the end of the day, we now suggested, okay, fine, let's repair that transformer, a 200 kVA it was at that time, and give it, let's reduce the load on this new transformer before it is installed, so that we don't overload it and then return back to the status quo that we were before, we approached the disco. So at the end of the day, we took this old transformer. Apparently, they had, a previous administration had dropped it with a repairer, a private engineer, a company that does, transformers and repair transformers. We now went. What was supposed to have cost us 400,000 in 2019, in 2022, was going to cost us 1.2 million. And then we bargained, and then we paid 1.2. I think, yes, it was 1.2, because they had already been given 100,000 naira in advance. So what we did was just give him the balance of 1.1 million naira. We repaired it. Obviously, the money came from members of the community. In my own CDA, every house on that transformer paid 15,000. Now, I'm going to talk concerning my own CDA. So, what we were billed was about maybe 1.2 or 1.250. I can't remember the exact number here. So, people started to contribute from the other, because we were 4 CDAs. The other 3 CDAs contributed there, so we put the money together, repaired that transformer. And then, a transformer that was not on the network before. Thank God there was an existing platform that we could put it. We put it on that existing platform. And the funniest part of it, after finishing the project, and now this is what we got, the kind of reaction that we got from our people, most especially the youth. They started to call us thieves. And you know why they called us thieves? They called us thieves because, fine, they were aware that the 500 kVA came and the community did not pay anything for it. But the 200 kVA that was repaired, after explaining to them at the meeting, when you call them for meeting, they won't come. Because there are a lot of people complaining in this country. When they say come out and vote and elect your desired, how would I say, come out for election, they won't come. I'm not ignorant of the fact that all these political parties, they rig elections. No, I'll be telling myself a lie. But what I want us to understand is, what we are experiencing is a result of the things you have said. As far as we are concerned, anybody that comes is Olori Buruku. When they are campaigning, they are thieves. They only come here to deceive us. And then, if you have observed, all these people behave true to type. Exactly what we have said is the way they behave. We call them thieves, they steal our money. We call them Olori Buruku, they get there and misbehave. Me, I don't know how you see it though. Because when God was telling Moses, tell the children of Israel, as they have spoken in my ear, so is what I will do to them. And I'm like, so wait, let's run this down again. Ever since from the inception, you human beings, you are used to complaining. They're all thieves. Don't mind them. They're just telling us lies. We don't trust them. Even if they come with good intentions. But what we have said, somehow spiritually will affect them. Spiritually would affect them. Even Obi in Anambra. Some people in Anambra still didn't like his government, or they complained though. Some, and I know some would have insulted him. But I don't know how, but somehow I believe would have been insulted. And at the end of the day, but me, I think as a people, the Bible tells us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. The tongue of 200 million people. There's power there, whether we realize it or not. It's a spiritual law that, whether we like it or not, the ignorance of they say the ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you operate it, when you start to see the side effect, you would have forgotten what you have said though. So my own is, let us change what we are saying, so that we don't end up where we don't want to. Because, remember that song? That song is still relevant. Every moment in Nigeria. What's the name of this Baba? You want to look at Baba, you know? Baba Baberito. We call him Baberito. I can't remember his name. Ìlú lewu kò sówó lóde. And Ìlú have not stopped to be laying. And Owo has refused to come outside. I feel that as a people, let us reconsider and check ourselves to find out what we are doing, what we are experiencing. Is it a result of what we have said over time? My own chickeny, how would I say? My own shikini advice. Just think about, God will help us in Jesus' name.